Today we will see brought to life a rare and beautiful art form from the Tibetan Buddhist tradition. The ancient art of Tibetan sand painting has been preserved in the monasteries of India and Tibet for over 2,500 years. Tibetan monks from the Namgyal Monastery, the personal monastery of the Dalai Lama, will share with us this ancient Buddhist art form. This most sacred of mandalas is the mandala of Kalachakra. We now have the unique opportunity to see it being created live from the Asian Art Museum in San Francisco. The creation of the Kalachakra mandala is outstanding amongst Buddhist traditional art forms in Tibet. Its story begins at the time of Buddha himself.
Sand painting came from India, so historically the sand painting goes back to 600 BC. Actually, sand painting, this technique taught by Buddha himself. So that's a very old tradition. And then maybe 8th to 9th centuries, then that tradition moved India to Tibet. Why we making the sand painting? For purpose for meditation and purpose for practice, we call tantric practice, advanced practice. My name is Lobsang Samdin. I born in Tibet 1953, and then I escaped 1959 to first Nepal and then came to India. So, and I study Buddhist philosophy and sand painting in the monastery we call Namgyal Monastery, located in Dharamsala, where the Dalai Lama's lives residence.
Living in exile in Dharamsala, India, the monks have carefully recreated their spiritual tradition. Because of the tremendous destruction of Tibetan culture, we're very fortunate that this art form continues to survive. The extraordinary beauty and complexity of the mandala image seems to our eyes a miraculous creation and shows the intricacy and beauty of ancient Tibetan sacred tradition. In this program, we will learn about the history of the sand mandala, then we will see it being created live.
The meaning of the mandala, or significance of the mandala, there are many levels of the significance. The symbol significance is the mandala is a house for the deity. Buddhist point of view, and especially, tantric point of view, it doesn't mean just for the house for the deity. The Kalachakra mandala shows all Kalachakra path, shows through the mandala.
The monks imagine the special character of each deity. Each grain of sand that falls is alive with the sacred energy of its inhabitants. Great skill and concentration are required to perform this difficult art. This mandala is 7 feet in diameter and takes about 5 days to complete. Creating a mandala is a collaborative effort with 3 to 4 monks working side by side. Traditionally, each monastery would choose a group of monks to perform this sacred art. Monks who create the mandala study sand painting for 3 to 5 years in the monastery, learning the techniques and meanings of these ancient designs. Every detail of the mandala must be committed to memory.
There are many different sand paintings. Let's say in the Kalachakra sand painting, and then I could say less than 100 people to know the sand painting, especially for the Kalachakra.
Creating the sand mandala is a great honor and is said to bring one closer to enlightenment. At one time, the sand used for the Kalachakra was ground from precious stones. The monks still bring the sands from the Himalayas, but now they are mixed with vegetable dyes to create the vivid colors. The tool used to create the thin lines is a cornet. This funnel-like cone has serrated sides. They are ground together to create a thin stream of sand, which is controlled by wrist and hand movements. This cryptic and detailed set of lines will serve as an actual blueprint for construction of this divine mansion. Although the diagram appears flat, imagine the mansion as existing three-dimensionally, with the 5 mandalas leading upwards toward a crowned center. Gateways and walls are shown in 2 dimensions to reveal tiny hideaways occupied by deities. This complex pattern forms the basis for the entire sand particle universe. Within the Kalachakra mandala, there are actually 5 complete mandalas. The outermost is the body mandala, followed by speech and mind. They are accessible through a series of multi-tiered gates leading in 4 directions. The innermost mandalas have no direct access and are known as the mandalas of pristine consciousness and inner bliss. Between each layer is a series of walls guarded by protective deities. Outside the sacred mansion are the swirling rings representing the elements of earth, water, fire, and wind. In most cases, the first circle of sand will be applied by the Dalai Lama, or head Lama. The throne which the Kalachakra deity and his consort Vishvamata will occupy is formed from an 8-petaled lotus located at the center of the mandala. The throne sits on a series of colored planets. In the central chamber, a Vajra with an orange dot at the left represents the deity pair of Kalachakra embracing his consort Vishvamata. Kalachakra, or Wheel of Time, represents compassion. Vishvamata, or All-Mother, represents wisdom.
Why does the mandala have a center of male and female? It's symbol of the wisdom and the compassion. Wisdom and the compassion, or wisdom and the method, is the main source of the practice. Without compassion and wisdom, or without compassion and method, there is no way to achieve enlightenment. That is the essence of the Buddhist practice.
On each of the 8 lotus petals surrounding the deity pair are Shakti goddesses, represented by small mounds of sand. Surrounding this innermost mandala, but with no gate, is the pristine consciousness mandala. There are 16 small spaces occupied by deities known as the ones gone thus. 4 male gods occupying the space in each direction are embraced by 4 female gods. The remaining places are occupied by vessels. As we approach the mandala of pristine consciousness, we cross the solid colored gallery leading in all 4 directions. Then we arrive at the mind mandala. Around the perimeter of the mind mandala, 12 male and 12 female bodhisattvas, or enlightened teachers, are represented by small mounds of sand.
Specific, significant or quality the mind mandala have reduce our mind's negativities, especially for the anger, hatred, jealousy, so forth. The mandala has 4 corners. The meaning of the 4 corners is like love and compassion and joy and equanimity. In the mandala, we're using 5 different colors. 5 different colors is significant of the 5 Buddha families, and also 5 major elements.
Each of the mandalas is separated by several layers of walls. The walls are made from the 5 colors and hung with jeweled offerings. To make the fine crevices of the walls and gates, individual sections are marked with a wedge, then further refined using the tip of a pin. Each mandala is surrounded by a protective ring with half moons and triangles in which deities reside.
There were 12 doors. The body's door, speech and mind, it means 12 paths. Buddha himself, his body, speech, mind transformed to body, speech, mind mandala. So speech mandala have a specific significance about reduce the practitioners or sentient beings our speech negativities. The body mandala have a special significance about reduce our body's negativities.
12 animals supporting lotus flowers circulate in its main layer. Each lotus has 28 petals which support a goddess, seen as a mound of colored sand. At the very center of each lotus stands a deity couple. There are 30 gods in each of 12 lotus groupings for a total of 360. These 12 lotuses signify the months of the year, the 30 gods, the days of the month. This alignment with the lunar calendar refers to ancient Indian systems of astrology. Magnificent four-leveled gates filled with tiny gods top the body mandala. Crossing out from the body mandala gate, we arrive at the outermost wall of the celestial palace. These semicircular panels, filled with offerings, serve as a courtyard to the mansion. The offerings are elements from sacred tradition, given by each monk to the deity. The extraordinary luminance of these offerings is rendered by fine techniques of shading. Encompassing the palace structure is a band of rings composed of the 5 natural elements. The innermost ring of bright yellow is a symbol of earth. Green patterns form a chain around its border. Alongside, a silvery moon. Just opposite is a radiant sun. The next ring represents the element of water. It has a clear base. Fine blue lines are later added to create a wave pattern. Mythical animals drawing chariots appear in its orbit. The fire ring is the color of salmon red. It is joined to a gray wind ring by 10 dharma wheels representing sacred cemeteries. Overlaying the 2 rings are 88 syllables referring to deities associated with cosmology. The last ring will complete the band and represents the elements of wisdom and space. It is lined with a band of protective vajras symbolizing strength and wisdom. These flaming tips emit colored light in all directions. The entire mandala contains 722 deities, each considered an emanation of the Buddha. After completion of the mandala, a ceremony is held. This is followed by an initiation for advanced students. During the completion ceremony, offerings brought by the public are first blessed, then passed out among the crowd. A sacred dance is performed, in honor of the Kala Chakra deity. The final stage in the ritual of the Kala Chakra is the dismantling of the mandala.
The meaning of the dismantling is impermanent. And not only for that, the sand is blessing many days for many peoples, many high lamas. And through that way, the sand is not like a regular sand. It is something, blessing. Through that sand, bring back to the ocean or the earth is blessing for the general environment.
The head lama makes blessings in each direction. Then, the mandala is cut lengthwise.
We can see through the example just of a sand painting how Tibetans have a really wonderful culture. This year is International Year of Tibet, but not only for that, during this day, the current situation of the Tibet is very dangerous. Tibetan culture is almost going to loss in this planet. Whatever we have a culture, but we preserve more than 2,000 years. Before we going to lost, we like to share to knowing other people how much the Tibetans have a culture.
Kent Geist, Director of Marketing and Development for WBIZ, and more than 4,300 viewers became new or renewing members of WBIZ during the March membership campaign. To all of you, we'd like to say thanks.
Presentation of this program is made possible by funding from the Columbia Foundation, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, and annual support from viewers like you. To order a copy of this program, call 1-800-343-4727. This offer is being made by KCET, Los Angeles.
This is PBS.